Hi everybody, you cannot see with the sun coming in. Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I'm here to share with you some tips on how I organize using mason jars. Mason jars are really great for organizing your kitchen. Number one, they are made from glass, and glass is good. It's good for you and it's also good for your food. Now, whenever I'm bringing things home from the grocery store, if it's not going in the refrigerator, it's probably going in one of these. Now, I have these in 3 different sizes. This is the large size and it holds 8 cups. There's also a 4-cup and a small version too. So this one is the smallest one, and this is really great for storing just leftovers of the stuff that goes in here, or just things that you buy in smaller amounts. But if you do not want to invest in mason jars, that's okay. You can always reuse the jars that you get from the grocery store. I particularly like the screw-on lids rather than the lids that look like this. So this is a jar that I got from Trader Joe's. It had capers in it, and I really like the shape of the jar. It's a hexagon. I like this one, and I'll probably use it for spices. I just need to remove the cover of it. And I have a product called Goo Gone, and I think there's another one called Goof Off. Anyway, those are great products to get the adhesive off of the jars. Okay, now, I'm not a big fan, no, actually I really am a big fan. I'm a huge fan of labels, but I'm also really lazy. So what's really great about the mason jars is that you can see right through them and you don't need labels. But if you end up with 3 different kinds of flowers that look the same, then you might have a tough time figuring out which is which. So I'm gonna show you a really quick trick that I use so that I don't have to fuss around with labels, which honestly, the trick I'm gonna show you is probably as long as doing a label, but still. Let me just show you. Okay, so this trick works well with packaging that isn't a cardboard box. And so it comes in handy that that lid is a double lid. So the first thing I'm going to do is just pour in the flour into my container. And next I'm going to use well, first I'm going to cut off just a little square piece that's larger than my lid, and now I'm going to use the lid as a guide to cut a circle that's about a 1/2 to a 1/4 inch bigger all around. I'm going to separate the 2 pieces because I really want a thin piece of paper to go into this lid, not a thick one, and then I can just screw it on, and then that's it. Now I can tell what kind of flour is in that mason jar. Okay, so I don't do this with a lot of my products, but I did add, let's put that away first. Okay, so I don't do this with a lot of my mason jars, but I did do it with the rice because I have 2 kinds of rice, and even though I can tell the difference between them, the kids aren't as skilled at doing that. Okay, so something else I do sometimes is just put a piece of masking tape on the lid. That way I can write down some of the information about what's inside. Or I might even just cut a piece of the packaging and slip that inside. This one has directions for a recipe that I would not know how to make otherwise, so I just slip that inside the jar, and that way it's always there when I need it. So here's the adhesive that's on some of those jars that is really hard to get off. These are my honey jars, and it took a little bit of scrubbing work, but I finally got it off using, I think, Goof Off. Alright, so this is what my cabinet looks like. I've got the tall mason jars on the bottom, and you can see how well all of those work together because I adjusted the shelf so that it's just high enough to cover those mason jars. Now here's my actual pantry. I don't really have mason jars in here except for empty ones, but I do have my potatoes and my onions in these baskets I picked up from Michael's several years ago. And those mason jars in the back, they're empty. In case I do need them, I can store things back there. I have 2 jars that do not have lids on them, so I have easy access to some things that we can get to. And then I also like to buy things kind of in bulk, I guess. It makes organization a little bit easier, and these 2 jars, actually I got 3 of them at the bottom there, are easy to get to because the lids come off very easily. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more cabinet in my kitchen, and this one I have a lot of the things that we use for entertaining. Since we have done away with most of our disposables, we keep a lot of plates and cups and other things that we need for entertaining. Alright, so here's kind of an overview of my kitchen. I do have a lot of cabinets, and that is such a blessing. Alright, if you want to see more pictures, you can check them out at my website at pepperandpine.com. Thanks for watching.